It's time, the final game once again, and we've been here so many times, but once again in this season, we seem to have the closest tournaments of pretty much all time. 7 points separates first down to 11th. And so, like the analyst aptly pointed out, Aussie, we need to pay attention to who goes down off spawn and through this mid game because, like we saw in EU, there's certainly going to be turmoil.
Yeah, and every elimination matters, not even if it takes down a big player, just one of these players picking up eliminations. We have a big stalemate here, Riverside with the green tack. On the other side of the wall, we have this player cooking up the charged shotgun. It's not a peak you want. 159 is enough damage from any charged shotgun, and we have an ultimate stalemate. Riverside has the crash pads. We haven't seen a stalemate like this before.
No.
Riverside turns, and that was it. That's all it took was that little feint to take out the wall, and Riverside shows that he has the ultimate composure. He's someone who's been in pretty tense situations. Don't know if it's ever been like that barrel to barrel, but Riverside opens this fight up with that little feint on the back wall, and now he's going to try and make his way through. And honestly, it just shows how insane these box fights are, how insane Fortnite Solos is at the top level, and Riverside hits him with a bit of the disrespect in a fight I have not seen happen yet.
And don't forget the two people that we just saw, Clarity and Day, are literally tied for first at the top of the leaderboard in this last game. Making a boat or a coastal rotate. We got another replay. Zephyr was the guy who got second back-to-back, Aussie.
Yeah, he has. Zephyr getting the insane fight right now as well. You got the replay coming out right now. Zephyr's looking really, really good into this fight. I'm going to let you break it down for us, Baller. He does. Never mind. It ends that quickly. We can't even break it down. He hits him with the dance. We're seeing a lot of disrespect coming to his final games. So, I mean, I think a lot of these players is, again, they've been playing solos for a long time today. And again, it's not just about this tournament. It's about tomorrow. But Zep, a player that I'm happy to admit I don't know a lot about. And that's why these official broadcasts are so great. We can really, really focus on these guys. Yeah, I don't know who this is, and Glace looking to make his way in. I have to think maybe Glace changed up. Maybe he didn't even drop Orchard. Maybe he dropped here on the edge, but didn't run into Zexor as he has no eliminations. He's still alive as it is. Glace versus Sizlucky, someone who's always kind of been around there recently. Sizlucky looking to try and have a big performance here today, and Glace looking to put that against, though. No, Glace doesn't want to. Gets in, and Sizlucky goes down. Glace having a nice, clean box fight on the outside of that box here at Frenzy, and he's looking really good now. 18 points, but again, this could jump him up. They want to hold on to that top 50. I don't know if Glace has already qualified, so a big fight for him. There's these players in the top 60 that are looking like they really can jump up in there. Here's something Federic can do, or just putting on a show. We know that Clix loves putting on a show as well. Obviously streams all these tournaments, and right now he's trying to close it down. He doesn't want to go down here though, because that will end the entire performance as Clix trying to find his way through. Only 38 builds. You talked about it, Ball. I don't think this elimination is going to be that impactful. They've used all their mobility right now. They're using all their materials as well. I can't think he's going to gain any more than what he's lost from this fight, except for just having the fight for the sake of it. And Prickly Boy goes down, and Clix takes him out. It's very rare that Clix will lose those kind of fights, but he might be feeling it, the momentum. It's a scary player to have this kind of momentum, and someone else now sneaking in, looking for that loot to try and see what they can kind of gobble up here. But Clix still has a lot of the control and the builds around here, and I wouldn't want to be that player if I was them. If I saw the feed, Clix getting elimination, and I heard no shield crack on his part, I would be doing just that and getting out. Is hard. It makes it a little bit easier because that surge isn't coming up. It also makes it harder because you have to avoid them. If you can stay away from these other players that are picking up the aggression, like we see Zexor here onto Glace. Glace is not avoiding one of these players. Zexor going for this fight. We see Glace and Zexor both under 20 points here, having a very aggressive mid-game fight. So for that reason, it could be argued that it's easier, but as long as you can avoid them, your whole tournament can be thrown in half a second if one of these guys crosses your path and they're feeling a bit emotional or they're feeling a bit aggressive, like Zexor, steam from the ears with a pepper popped, looking to take this fight, but he only has 11 builds, so he can't use that extra speed to try and get on top of this player because he's going to run out of builds very quickly if he does. He tries to get up there with using very little mats, gets up now, 4 left in the back pocket. Can he take down Glace? This is it. He's now run on fumes, and with that last build, he took it. He pushed Glace down. Maybe Glace is now identified that Zexor has no builds with the way he's positioning, and Glace looking to close it out, using that advantage, and look at the builds. He gets them in, but Zexor jumping back forward through this wall. While this fight not matter as much for that top 5, top 10, it could matter massively for the top 50 qualifications as Glace takes him out and just further secures his top 50 position to go through the heats. Yeah, I believe he won the game earlier today, so his 24 points have pretty much come almost exclusively for one game when he had this caddy loose, so it's going to shake up that top 4 massively. If Day, Clarity, or Hoofishy try to make any play near him in this endgame, if he makes it, but honestly, I think we're used to seeing Stretch just hold on to this loot that he has, knowing the endgame is his win condition. He is playing aggressive, and this is what we talked about. Can you avoid the players like this? Right now, this person was in a beautiful box. They were up outside Authority, right near the edge of zone, in hard mats, but Stretch does not care. He is pushing fights for the sake of them, and is he going to back off? No, he finds this angle angle, and the player predicts it to, wrapping around. And there is a few eyes on this one, though. There are 3 players here now. Is Stretch capable of closing it out like he does in endgame in this mid-game fight? Beautiful shot coming through as Cody goes down, someone who is used to having that caddy loot in the back pocket, as it is now Stretch versus Curio. And he just does his shockwave straight through, tries to get in the builds. He's almost in there, but he's not, as Booger picks up an limb in the feed as well, and Stretch just kind of has these builds around this fight now, and he is just having fun with it. He is playing this like a pub right now. This does not look like the round 6 of an FNCS qualifying tournament, but again, for Stretch, you could argue it's not. He is already qualified, so he is just trying to close out this fight, and he does. That is 4 eliminations. Again, does he break the Prodigy curse I talked about earlier? Having over 3 eliminations for 5th zone has meant that that player has never made top 10. They're playing aggressive, and Glace is just taking advantage of that, and there's more on the line for Glace too. He needs to try and qualify. He wants to get up there. He's starting to push towards good cash though as well. Like, he's looking, I'm going to stop talking about top 50. I think he's pushing for prize money today, as Clicks also doing the same here on 21. 1 elimination. He's trying to find his way through here. Rockets out, and he rockets himself, but I think there was only damage onto himself. Unfortunately, Clicks, the pressure getting to him a little bit too much here, went for the fight, and that is not how he wanted it to go. I think that was honestly a misclick on the rocket there. I think he was probably going to try and crash pad through there, and it goes to his head, and he goes down. There's too much in the way, and there's a lot of players already on that edge too. This is by far, this is like the congested side of this zone, and it's the congested side of next zone they're coming in on. Right now, it is just stacked upon stacked. So you're talking about a Book on top of Miro. There's going to be a lot of players on top of a lot of players. As Polarized drops down, unfortunately with that crash pad, it's a bit of an awkward area. It knocks out the builds, breaks them out, but he comes back around, and the player gets confused. Magnolia is left just dazed after that first shot, doesn't know where he is, and Polarized takes the back wall and gets the elimination, as there is Zep as well. So Zepri is hanging around the edges too. That's our 6th place. So we've had eyes on almost everyone, and there is Clarity. And of course, he is positioned in,
which might be a blessing, but it might be a curse too, because the players next to him are all based up very close by, and even a Stink, he's taking a lot of damage from that. That's 4 ticks. He's 20 damage down. Oh, no! All of a sudden, it turns for the worst as Carnage Collapse, with only 4 points, has just taken out. Found his way to that 5th zone over the trees. Shouldn't be able to get beamed out the sky, but we've seen crazy things. Jelty gonna make this path. Oh, with shots. 1 tack. They'll take out Presto, and now Jelty rises by 1. That's so close now to the top 3. Jelty, who is outside of the top 5 to start things off, is now in the top 3. And to make that 2 elims to do it, that's so close. TJ was on top of him as well. There's Who Fishy. So in contrast to EU that we saw earlier, all the top players falling, in this game, they're all staying alive.
They're all here, and we even saw Jelty and TJ about to take the same launch pads. They could end up in a very, very similar position on top of each other as these zones close out, though. These players are all going to be on top of each other. Who Fishy looking like he's on top of his game. 1 pepper left, 5 crash pads. He has the loadout so far to close this one out, but he's going to have to hold on to it. Nice little shots coming out. They've just gained their top 50 placements, and again, like you said, Baller, we would mention that as a big, impactful point for the leaderboard, but they're all getting it. It's not a net positive for any of them as Kamari goes down, but that was Who Fishy, and Zepri goes down. That's another player in top 8, so it's really closing out around that top 5 as Who Fishy, that 1 elimination could very well be the difference between him winning today.
That it could. Every single little thing matters. When we get to this end of this game, I'm pretty much certain that we won't be able to call it. It's that close, and that many players are in contention. TJ is still right next to Day, so at least that might be a duel that could go to the finish. Glace, don't forget, he took out Stretch. We didn't actually touch on that before, but he now has Kit's loot, and he now has the Shockwave launcher to make a statement in this last game.
And 16 rockets, that comes on the back of how aggressive he was before he got it. When you drop caddy and you get it, and then you hold on to it to endgame, you usually have like maybe what, 4 or 5 rockets. We're seeing him with 16 rockets here. That means not only is his game right now, everyone else's game is under threat. That is 16 people or more that he can launch into zone and end their tournament that quickly. This is a very, very volatile weapon. And right now, Glace looking to see if he can put it to use for this first part of the rotate. He is looking good for this entire endgame. So all the big names still here, but Glace is one to watch to see what impact he has on this lobby. As no one went down now, it's gone quiet, and here it is, the quiet before the storm. You said we might not even be able to call it. I'm gonna do my best. Yeti goes down here. Glace getting a big elimination just like that. That could so easily be one of our players in the top 5. Illest also picking up an elimination. Keep your eyes glued to that feed. Me and Ball are going to do our best to call it, because this is going to break down and change very quickly.
That it is. Now the wide shot to spot any player who is in contention for this top spot. There's Axpect in the bottom left trying to make his way over the hill, and that is a threat for everybody else. Jelty's still up in this. I see Who Fishy, TJ as well. Not seeing Day. There he is in the center, and he's actually taking a second height position, slightly under Rao. Who's on height? It's DJ on the backside.
And now we know who has the caddy launcher. So any of these players on high ground is not the position they probably want to be in because they're basically minding it. You're just babysitting it until the player with the caddy launcher comes and takes it. As Grazka's in there as well, polarized. They're all so close and none of them have gone down. Dub's in this lobby too. So even these players who are a bit down on the leaderboard, we have some big names. TJ's down there. Day making his rotate through the sky. The most dangerous part. He lands though, going for a refresh. Day just not comfortable closing this game out with what he has. He wants the refresh. This is his tournament right here. That unfortunate trade didn't really go in his favor. He has 38 builds, but I like this. I like to see Day being comfortable and being confident to go for those eliminations. He doesn't have what he needs for the end game, and he wants it now. 46 points, as none of those big names have gone down right now. We still have our top 5. Acorn goes down. There's a few names around that top 10, but so far the top 5 is still in this baller.
That's what I think too. Day has a kit, at least he has the RPG to maybe find that impact that you said he so desperately needs. Right now, he's trying to outlast, but also if if all those other guys start to activate too, Day has to find some eliminations to keep up. He will get TJ. That's 5th place. And now 5 HP, what left with Day? 5 HP, now in the top 22. He has a small shield pusher to use, but cannot take his own tick at all, and only 11 builds remaining.
And Shelty took down Who Fishy. Not only are we seeing all the players in the top 5 here, we're seeing them take each other out of the game right now. So Who Fishy goes down. This is pretty much Reverse and Day here trying to go toe-to-toe. They're both here, and you've seen Reverse not getting the limbs, so you have to imagine he's healthier than Day. Day steps out, and no, that's it. That was the Storm tick. He stepped out into Storm, trying to lead with that rocket, and he goes down. Is Reverse still in there? I can't see him, baller. There he is. No, Reverse is there on the low ground where he shines. Is this Reverse's chance to step out and take the lead? He has qualified for World Cup solos. We know he is a phenomenal solo player. Haven't seen too many pop-off performances. This is his chance today. Furious on the high ground. Grazka's here as well. Grazka now has Kit's mythic shotgun in the back pocket. Riversan falls. All eyes on the feed to see if we see Reverse go down. And that was it. Grazka just took down Reverse with a mythic shotgun. This leaderboard isn't anyone's. We can see another name come out of nowhere, I think. Grazka trying to push up there. I don't think he has what it takes to get into top 5 today, but he's jumping up ball. This leaderboard is going to come right down to the wire.
Yeah, it is. I really have no clue what's going to happen in this case, but still a big fight. We just basically have to look. Furious with 40 points. He could overtake if he gets the win and a couple of elims too, because as we saw, we had the top 2 fall with Knots over 50 points. I think potentially we're going to have to wait for this because this is going to get intense. 1v1v1 and Furious has height with the Kit Shockwave launcher.
Furious dropping down, and now it's shotgun, toe-to-toe. You have to think it is, and Furious does. He comes out on top with Kit's mythic shotgun. It comes out. No, it doesn't. The legendary Shockwave launcher wins. Furious on 47. Is it enough, baller?
He, in fact, came second. Day held on at the very end. He placed 16th and picked up a single elimination, which combined was just enough to move him ahead. So Day, congratulations today. You are our winner with 49 points.